What's up, YouTube? NASCAR 88 here, and I know it's been a while since I've done a video. Need to shave, all that good stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to post an update video on my 1987 Ford F-150. A little background on the truck. Dad bought it in 1991 or 92, so it was a few years old. Drove it for a while, and then he got a new truck, of course, and then it kind of always been our kind of spare backup vehicle. And anyway, when I turned 16, they signed the title over to me, so it was my first vehicle. Of course, you know, when you're young, you want something newer, so I drove it for a few years, then bought another truck, and then another truck, and kind of drove it on the side, and then it got to the point where it just kind of sat for a while, and plus I kind of moved away and, you know, started working. So truck kind of wound up sitting for about, I want to say close to 10 years. So, you know, I'd driving around the pasture every once in a while. And anyway, it got to the point to where it wouldn't start. You know, it needed a battery. Somebody took the battery out. It wouldn't start. So I left it in my grandmother's house. So anyway, I'm going to try to post a picture of me loading it up on my new truck and pulling it up to my dad's house to start kind of working on it. First thing I thought when you turned the switch on, it wouldn't start. Let me get out of the sun. Was the fuel pump wouldn't run. So, you know, I hit on the gas tank with a hammer and all that good stuff. Couldn't ever get it to run. So then I was thinking, well, maybe it's something electrical. So I troubleshoot electrical. Got tired of fooling with it and let it sit for a little bit longer. Fuel pump's probably not any good. So took the bed off. Realized the tank was full. Thought that was kind of odd because the gauge showed empty. It had rusted completely. The float was gone. The gauge showed empty. So, and plus it never really worked right anyway. But anyway, look at that. It's just the wires are corroded and broke and everything. So it was rusted solid. So drained all that old fuel out. And here's the old tank over here with some miscellaneous Fairlane parts on it. Found out the top of the tank had rusted out. Let's see if I can find the hole. There's a hole somewhere on the tank where the tank had actually filled up with water and rusted out from the inside too. So of course it wasn't any good. So I put a new fuel tank, new fuel pump on it. And of course it seems like that, sorry, I'm fiddling with the camera, that when I replaced the fuel pump in the tank itself, so I tried to start it, still wouldn't start. So I went all the way down the fuel line. There's some kind of reservoir, I guess it's for the dual tank vehicles. Anyway, it fills up with fuel. It was leaking, so I fixed that. Went all the way up. The high pressure fuel pump, which is on the frame rail, was just rusted solid. I had it around here somewhere. I don't know what I did with it. So replaced that. Still was just running like garbage. So, I mean, it actually started. So I took the intake off and replaced the fuel injectors just to be safe with the setup that come out of it originally that I just replaced because I had it apart one time. Put those in there, still ran like crap. So I was like, well, I'll order a set of plugs for it, which is probably the first thing I should have done. Put new plugs on it, spark plugs, wires, still ran like crap. So I was like, well, let me get a distributor, because the distributor cap was actually fairly new when I bought it. Boy, when I took that cap off, I realized, wow, it was only firing on 2 or 3 cylinders. So anyway, I replaced the cap, the rotor button still was skipping a little bit, so I just drove the heck out of it and realized that it had fouled out a few of the plugs because they wasn't firing, obviously, because the distributor cap and the rotor button were just completely corroded up in there. So anyway, now it is street legal now, but now it needs a set of brakes on it, which is next on the list. But anyway, I just wanted to give you an update video on it. This is what the truck looks like now, and it is running right now. I just drove it around the block. So here it is. Yes, it needs some body work, of course. It's a Ford truck, but it doesn't matter. Man, I love these old trucks. Here it is. The air conditioner is currently not running, or not working, but the compressor will run. So, you know, that's next on my list. Needs a muffler and a tailpipe because they're completely rusted out. You can probably hear exhaust, it's either exhaust or a tick in the bottom end, which wouldn't surprise me. but it doesn't matter because it's really reliable right now. Go around. So a 1987 F-150 two-wheel drive with the 300 4.9 liter inline 6-cylinder. And yes, that gauge is correct. It has no oil pressure. You touch the gas, it'll kick back up when it goes back to idle. No oil pressure. It's all my brake stuff. But I figure it hasn't had oil pressure for about 10 years now. See if I can get this camera to focus. I don't know what the deal is with it. All right. Since it hasn't had oil pressure for about 10 years, I'm just going to drive it. Maybe I'll rebuild it one day. Here she is, 4.9 liter inline 6-cylinder. Runs really good. When I was troubleshooting why I wouldn't run, I blocked off the EGR, so I still got to kind of play with that. And I don't know if I'm going to hook it back up or just leave it blocked off. I just got it open right now. Change the oil in it. I'm going to go with a thicker weight oil, maybe to help the oil pressure in it. Before I do a rebuild in it, I just don't have the time to deal with a rebuild right now. I figure as long as it's getting oil on top of the heads, or the head I should say, I don't know if you can see down in there, there is oil flowing. So as long as it's flowing oil, I'm going to let her ride. It's just not knocking. But she's running good. In fact, I just got insurance and a tag on it, so we're gonna go for a ride. It's gonna be windy because it's hot as heck and the air conditioner ain't working on it. So we're gonna have to deal with some wind noise. Oh. Alright, I'm having to do this right-handed. Drive. She's always kind of had a hesitation when you put it in first in gear. You have to make sure it engages, or if you push the gas, sometimes she stalls, but she's kind of always done that. If you hear metal scrubbing, that would be the rotors and the brakes. They're completely down to the metal. That's why I got all new stuff right there. Yeah, see, she has like no oil pressure. But like I said, it's been like that for a long time. I have to go with a thicker oil. As soon as you touch the gas though, oil pressure picks back up. I hear metal on metal contact right now. I don't know if you can hear it. Woo. I just need to pull this engine and rebuild it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Just no oil pressure. Try to watch the road. But she runs good. Just like a 4.9 liter. I'm gonna shut this vent window. Of course she's got some play in the steering, but that's because it's a Ford. Wore out old Ford. This truck has 237,900 miles exactly. I'm gonna shut up and just drive it now. See, when you're driving down the road, it's got a little bit of oil pressure. You could say those gauges are idiot gauges, but this one fluctuates a lot actually. And I don't think it's got enough oil pressure when it's hot and I drive at idle to actually register at all on the gauge. I've had a mechanical gauge on it and it's only got like 2 or 3 pounds. So she's definitely worn out, poor old F-150. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna cut the camera off so I can drive. And love these old Fords. They're great little trucks. The only thing I wish this one was 4-wheel drive or a 5-speed manual. But, you know, that's what my dad wanted at the time. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Talk to you later. Bye.